Hello everyone. Later this morning I'll be going off with a couple of my girlfriends for a girls' day out. One of our number crafter, a lovely lady, emailed me to tell me about an exhibition of sculptures that are not too far away from me, and she showed me pictures and I was just completely entranced. Absolutely. So the first thing we're going to do today is to go and see these sculptures in a garden. I've made an appointment and we'll be going there. We'll be having lunch and then we'll be going to do a vineyard tour this afternoon for one of our numbers' birthday. So it's going to be an all round really good day, I hope. So I thought I'd just start off by doing a quick card before I leave. What I'd like to do today is a white on white card, and if your emphasis is white on white, there's got to be something to differentiate the different things. So mainly, to my mind, white on white is more about texture than anything else, really. So I've cut out a few little panels. I've cut out a couple of die cuts because I was thinking, when I was looking through my dies, I wanted a die that had got more than just an outline. I wanted something that had got texture, and each of these has texture. This one was a freebie in a magazine. This one, I think, is either Memory Box or Simon Says Stamp. There seems to be a bit of a crossover with some of those makes from time to time. And I thought either of these would do, so I just cut both out and had a look. And when I looked what I'd actually got, the effect is actually incredibly different. This one, the vein lines on the leaves are just merely indentations, whereas this one, they're actually cut lines. So they are much more vibrant, much more obvious. So that is the one I think I'm going to use. This is the one I thought I would use until I cut them out, and then I looked at them and decided this was the one. So that's what I'm going to do. And I want to put it onto a small square, but I want to do something with the background before I put this onto that small square. So it's all about, as I've said before, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So what I've got out, I've got an embossing folder. This is from Charlie and Paulson, and it's just heaps of tiny, tiny, tiny little hearts. And I just would like to make a bit of an impression on this. I don't know if I'll use both of these, but I've got some glass microbeads in there, which I've had for years and years and years and scarcely used. So I may try those. But I've also taken out my indigo blue texture paste. This is fine, and it's called True Grit because it has got tiny sort of gritty particles in, although the overall appearance is fine. So I'm going to use some of that as well. First thing I'm going to do, though, is just to emboss a corner of this square. And I'll just, can you see, just get the hearts going down like that somehow, just across the corner. Because if I fancy that going like that, you see, this is what I'm kind of thinking. If I'm having that like that, I'd like that in the corner there. So let's just emboss that. Now, what do I do with this to emboss this one? It's trying to remember the different sandwiches for all the different things. Let's try this. I think this is it's too thin. Let me take my top plate out. Or is it? Oh dear. It's so difficult to remember. These embossing folders are all so different. Let's try this. That feels like it. I don't know if this one is supposed to be a 3D one or not, but it's so problematic. You just have to get to know your own machine to know which particular plates to use. So I have got this raised bit across the corner. Just looks like dots. The next thing I thought I would try and use is this texture paste. So let me put it on my mat. Can you see it's fairly, when you make a hole, it kind of stays there. So what I want to do is to just splodge some of this over my square, and I want to use my palette knife to make it a little bit kind of uneven-y, really. So let's just see how we go. Scrape a bit off this where the texture is. Take a bit off here. Got rather a lot, I think. Put a bit on the corner. This, of course, is going to have to dry. Okay. Different every time. You don't know what's going to happen, do you? Let me just wipe my fingers and the mat and my palette knife. Before it dries, I want to stick the die cut into it. Whether I put a few micro beads in, should I do that? I could try just a few, couldn't I? Let's wipe my fingers. There we go. Let's just try a few of these. Right, I need a little spoon for this, I think. Where's a spoon? I did have one in my... Oh, I can use... No, I can't. I will need a spoon because they'll roll all over the place. I'll have to use this one out of here for the moment. Okay, let's just try this. Let's flatten it so they don't immediately roll off. Don't know if I like that or not, really. We'll see. We'll press on. I haven't used them for donkey's years and I've kind of forgotten about them, but I was looking for something else and spotted the pot in the drawer. Right. Not sure if I like that. Well, we'll see. Let's just press on for a minute. If not, I'll do another square. Let's try this. I think I'm going to put a drop of glue on the back of this as well as before I press it in, because I'd like it to actually adhere to that front panel. I'm hoping that the texture paste will grab it. Let's see. Need a bit more glue coming out of my pen. Right. Let's try this chap. Not sure that I like that. I think it's, you scrape a bit of the embossing. I think it's the beads I don't like. I will try something else, but I don't like the beads. I don't think. Let's see. Let me just try this. This is a bit of a Nouveau glitter gloss, do they call it? Yes, a Nouveau glitter gloss pen. It's like a tongue twister, isn't it? I like that. I like that. Just brightened up the leaves a little. Okay. I'll be cutting that stem off later. I couldn't call it a tail. Cut it off later. Let me just see where we're going with this. That would fit, oh, hardly on there, just about. It's a bit on the big side. I use a lot of the cut. Oh, looks better actually, doesn't it? We're getting there. Perhaps I'll carry on. Maybe I will carry on. Let's leave that to dry a bit and do a little bit of something else for the card base itself. As I say, I'm thinking about texture. Everything's going to be white on white. That is maybe sort of finished. I'm actually getting to like the beads a bit more now, looking at them. But we've come out. Let's see if I can come back in again. My watch has a mind of its own. How long have we been out? Can you see it? You see that? You can see a little bit of the texture I put in, first of all there. Some of the splodges from the palette knife around here, and just a few of the micro beads flopped on the top. Okay, right, I should check my watch more often. I've got a sign here, look. Keep checking your watch, but I don't always think to do it. Never mind, we'll press on. Now, I've got a card, a square card here, and a panel for it. And what I would like to do, first of all, really, is to use, I found this, I don't know what make it is. It's just a frame die, but I'm not going to use it as a cutout frame. I want to use it as an embossed frame. So I'm going to position it on the front of my card panel. And then I'm going to tape it with some low tack tape to keep it in position. Okay. Just make sure it's in the middle and square. I do have a T ruler for getting things on square. I've just got it up here somewhere. There it is. So to do that, just put it on the top like this and then butt your shape up against it if you're not sure. But let me just have a go and then I'll check it afterwards to see how close I am to square. I've got a reasonably good eye for having things square. Pretty good. Okay, now I want to emboss this, so to emboss it I will need a rubber mat on my plate, and I think I need my adapter plate for this. We'll kind of see. Let's just see if this is the right thing. I may need the shim as well. Let's just see. No, that's not enough. Do I need my platform top in? Let's try that. That feels like it. Often you can just tell by the resistance that you feel whether your sandwich is going to be right. Okay, take off the tape, take off the die. Now we've got an embossed frame rather than a cutout frame. Okay, so just to finish this, if I put that onto, where does that go? Let's try a smaller one. Is that bigger than that? Yes. That goes on there, and that goes on there. You see, it's just, I can't stick it at the minute because the texture paste is still wet. But when I put some tape, some runner tape on the back of this, it will flatten it down. I'll put plenty on to make sure it flattens it down, but isn't that sweet? Simple as anything, but it's all about texture. Just cut this little tail off, as I was going to call it before. Right. There we go. There. And I don't actually think I need a sentiment. So a quick one before I go on my outing. And thank you for supporting me. Thank you for your comments. I do love reading them. Do like, do subscribe, and do have a lovely day. Thank you so much.